September 2024. Video emerged showing a Ukrainian first-person view drone carrying an incendiary burning mixture, spraying it along a dense line of trees where Russian troops had concealed themselves. According to Defense News, Ukrainian mountain infantry received thermite munitions, a powdered mix of aluminum and iron oxide burning at temperatures exceeding 2,200 degrees Celsius, 3,992 degrees Fahrenheit, mounted on drones and dropped on Russian positions. The primary use? As a defoliant to remove the tree and foliage cover Russian troops use for concealment. The secondary use? Psychological weapon producing effects that traumatize soldiers when thermite contacts skin. But by November 2025, Russia had responded catastrophically. According to the national interest, Russia dropped more than 3,500 glide bombs in November alone, with glide bombs specifically flattening tree lines where Ukrainian drone operators sit, along with entire buildings in urban areas. Tree lines became death traps for both sides. Ukrainian forces hiding drone operators in foliage faced Russian FAB-1500 glide bombs, obliterating entire groves, while Russian infantry concealing in tree lines faced Ukrainian thermite drones burning them out, or Ukrainian FPV strikes catching them exposed when fleeing the flames. If you want to see how modern warfare turned peaceful tree lines into mutual kill zones where neither side can hide safely, hit subscribe and turn on notifications. This is the evolving battlefield where concealment equals death. Ukraine's thermite drone adaptation solved a tactical problem. Russian forces hide in tree lines to avoid observation, making conventional artillery strikes wasteful and FPV drone searches time-consuming. According to Nicholas Drummond, a defense industry consultant, thermite drones serve twofold purposes, acting both as a cheap way to expose enemy locations and to cause fear among the invading troops. The technical advantages of thermite for this mission: defoliation capability. Thermite burns at 2,200 degrees Celsius, hot enough to incinerate foliage instantly. According to experts, the primary use of these thermite FPV drones is as a defoliant to remove the tree and foliage cover that Russian troops and vehicles are using for concealment in tree lines. Spray burning mixture across tree lines, watch leaves and branches burn away, expose Russian positions that were invisible moments earlier. FPV delivery precision. According to Defense News, FPVs are suitable drone variants to deliver the burning mixture at slow speed because of their low cost and precise maneuverability. Cheap quadcopters can navigate through trees, spray thermite along likely hiding spots, then exit before Russian counterfire responds. Cost per mission: approximately $400 to $500 for drone plus thermite payload. Vastly cheaper than artillery barrages achieving similar defoliation. Psychological terror. According to military experts, thermite creates a psychological weapon due to the nature of the effects thermite would produce in contact with skin, burning at temperatures that instantly destroy tissue, producing horrific injuries that traumatize survivors and demoralize units who witness thermite strikes. The tactical employment. Ukrainian forces identify tree lines through reconnaissance drones or satellite imagery, dispatch thermite FPVs to burn away concealment, then follow up with conventional FPV strikes on exposed Russian troops attempting to flee burning foliage. According to reporting, Russian soldiers face impossible choice: remain in burning tree lines and die from thermite/smoke inhalation, or flee into open ground where Ukrainian drones hunt them. Russia's adaptation proved devastating. If Ukrainian drone operators hide in tree lines, obliterate the tree lines entirely using FAB-1500 glide bombs, massive 1,500 kilogram, 3,300 pound weapons that level everything within blast radius. According to the national interest, Russian glide bombs specifically target tree lines where Ukrainian drone operators sit, eliminating not just individual soldiers, but entire operational positions in single strikes. The November 2025 statistics reveal the scale. Russia dropped more than 3,500 glide bombs in a single month, averaging over 113 glide bombs per day. Not all targeted tree lines specifically, but according to reporting, tree line positions housing Ukrainian drone operators, command posts, and observation points became priority targets because glide bombs solved the problem of concealed Ukrainian FPV teams that conventional artillery cannot locate precisely. The tactical logic favors Russia's approach. Ukrainian FPV drone teams must position near the front to operate within drone range, typically 5 to 10 kilometers from contact lines. Tree lines near front lines provide concealment but also limit escape routes. According to the national interest, these strikes do not need to be decisive to be effective. Even if the glide bomb misses the exact Ukrainian position, the blast forces Ukrainian drone teams to relocate, disrupting operations for hours or days while new positions are established. The cost asymmetry also favors Russia despite glide bombs' expense. According to estimates, FAB-1500 glide bombs cost approximately $50,000 to $75,000 when including guidance kit and delivery aircraft fuel/maintenance. Destroying a Ukrainian drone operator team eliminates personnel worth far more than the weapon cost. Trained operators take months to develop. FPV drones worth $400 to $500 each can be replaced in days, but skilled pilots are irreplaceable assets. Kill the operators hiding in tree lines, and Ukrainian drone effectiveness plummets, regardless of drone production. Tree lines became dangerous because the kill zone, the area where drones can effectively detect and strike exposed movement, expanded dramatically throughout 2024 to 2025. According to the National Interest Analysis, this zone now stretches roughly 15 to 25 kilometers from the front line, with Ukrainian forces increasingly pushing its reach up to 40 kilometers. The timeline of expansion reveals technological acceleration. 2023, Killzone relied heavily on artillery with limited FPV drone saturation. Systematic use of bomber drones, attack drones, demining drones, supply drones, and rescue drones had not yet become widespread according to reporting. Tree lines provided effective concealment because reconnaissance drones were sparse and FPV strikes opportunistic rather than systematic. 2024, FPV proliferation saturated battlefields. According to a Ukrainian lieutenant from the 93rd Mechanized Brigade speaking to the Sunday Times, almost any vehicle within 5 kilometers of the front is as good as finished. Anything moving out to 10 kilometers is in danger. Drone strikes at 15 or 20 kilometers are not that unusual. 2025. The kill zone deepened to perhaps 35 to 40 kilometers and become more lethal, according to International Center for Defense and Security (ICDS) analysis. Fiber optic drones immune to electronic warfare, mothership drones carrying FPVs deeper behind lines, and AI-enabled target recognition extended Ukrainian strike capabilities, while Russian Molnia medium-range drones, 20 to 50 kilometers capability, expanded Russian kill zone depth. Tree lines became dangerous precisely because they exist throughout this expanding kill zone. Soldiers cannot hide 40 kilometers behind lines. Logistics, command posts, artillery positions all require proximity to front lines. Tree lines offer the only natural concealment in Ukrainian plains and Russian steppes. But drones systematically search tree lines. Thermite burns away foliage, and glide bombs flatten entire groves. The kill zone expansion means nowhere is safe. Tree lines that were secure rear area positions in 2023 became frontline death traps by 2025. What makes tree lines strategically significant? Both Ukrainian and Russian forces depend on them, yet neither can use them safely. According to reporting, Ukrainian forces position drone operator teams in tree lines for concealment, but Russian glide bombs target exactly these positions, dropping 3,500 plus bombs monthly. Russian forces hide infantry in tree lines to avoid detection, but Ukrainian thermite drones burn away foliage, exposing them, while Ukrainian FPV strikes hit revealed positions. The mutual vulnerability creates tactical stalemate. According to military analysts, FPV drone warfare and Russia's meat grinder tactics forced Ukraine to redesign its fortifications because traditional defensive positions in tree lines became untenable under Russian glide bomb saturation. Similarly, Russian infantry cannot mass in tree lines for attacks because Ukrainian reconnaissance drones identify concentrations and FPV swarms destroy them before assault begins. The statistics prove tree line lethality. According to United 24 Media, Ukrainian drones struck 35,000 Russian troops in December 2025 alone, including killed, wounded, and irrecoverable. Many of these strikes occurred in tree lines, where Russian forces attempted concealment. According to Ukraine's Unmanned Systems Forces commander, Robert Madyar Brovdy, the goal for 2026 is increasing strikes to 50,000 to 60,000 Russian troops per month, astronomical casualties driven largely by drones hunting infantry in what used to be safe rear area tree lines. Ukraine's thermite drone employment raises legal questions. According to Defense News expert analysis, thermite munitions are not banned per se, but neither is it straightforward. The legal framework. It would be legitimate and legal to use them as defoliants to remove cover, and this holds unless they would A, hit civilians, or B, there was a significant risk the subsequent fire would endanger civilians. Russia's use of thermite creates the legal contrast. According to reporting from 2023, Russia used thermite bombs over residential neighborhoods in eastern Ukraine. A YouTube video showed the Telegraph's documentation of such strikes. Using thermite near civilian infrastructure creates possibility of causing out-of-control fires that risk burning down civilian infrastructure and non-military targets. Ukraine's employment focuses on frontline tree lines away from civilian populations, legally defensible as defoliation, removing enemy concealment. But the dual-use nature, burning foliage while terrorizing soldiers with 2,200 degrees Celsius temperatures, blurs lines between legitimate defoliant and psychological terror weapon. According to experts, classification depends on intent and execution. Targeting only military positions in tree lines far from civilians remains legal. Risking civilian harm through uncontrolled fires violates international humanitarian law. Tree lines transform from soldiers' refuge to mutual death traps through technological evolution neither side anticipated. Ukrainian thermite drones burn away Russian concealment at $400 to $500 per mission. Russian FAB-1500 glide bombs flatten Ukrainian drone operator positions at 113 strikes daily in November 2025. The expanding kill zone, now reaching 35 to 40 kilometers from front lines, means tree lines throughout operational depth are surveilled, targeted, and struck systematically. Neither side owns tree lines. Neither side can use them safely. Ukrainian forces position drone teams in foliage. Russia flattens groves with glide bombs. Russian infantry hides in tree lines. Ukraine burns them out with thermite or hunts fleeing soldiers with FPVs. The mutual danger forces both armies toward open fortification systems where concealment comes from earthworks and camouflage rather than natural vegetation. The strategic lesson: modern drone warfare eliminated natural concealment's value. Trees cannot stop thermite. Foliage cannot survive FAB-1500 blasts. And soldiers hiding in tree lines, whether Ukrainian drone operators or Russian infantry, face exposure, fire, or death. The peaceful groves marking Ukrainian and Russian countryside became 21st century no man's lands where entering means dying. Do you think future warfare will see more thermite/defoliation weapons or defensive countermeasures? Share thoughts. Subscribe for modern warfare analysis. Thanks for watching.